In the Genesis narrative, the Garden of Eden stands as the pinnacle of creation, a place where God's intentions for humanity, animals, and the environment were perfectly manifested. This idyllic setting offers profound insights into what life was like before sin entered the world, shaping our understanding of human purpose, stewardship, and divine intention. This video explores the nature of life in Eden, focusing particularly on the relationships between humans, animals, and the environment, weaving theological perspectives with deep symbolic interpretations. 1. The harmony of creation. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. Genesis 1:31. The initial state of creation was one of complete harmony and goodness. When God reviews his work, the declaration of its goodness encompasses not just aesthetic beauty, but also functional harmony among all elements of creation. Humans, animals, and nature existed in a relationship defined by peace and mutual benefit, pointing to God's design for a world where conflict and predation are absent. In this primordial setting, every creature, including humans, had their needs met by the abundant resources of the environment, which was untouched by corruption. This harmonious interaction suggests that God's plan was for creation to maintain a balance, where the needs of all life forms were in sync with the productivity and regenerative capacity of the environment. The profound interconnectedness implied here speaks to a theological truth about God's nature as a provider and sustainer. 2. The role of humans in Eden. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. Genesis 2:15. Humans were placed in the garden not merely to enjoy its bounty, but to actively participate in maintaining its order and beauty. This role as caretakers implies a responsibility toward the environment that encompasses stewardship and nurture. The original purpose for humanity was not dominion in the sense of exploitation, but leadership in stewardship, maintaining the cycles and health of the natural world. This caretaking role also implies a non-exploitative relationship with animals. Humans in Eden would have interacted with animals not as hunters or competitors, but as guardians, and perhaps even companions, ensuring their well-being as part of the overall harmony of the garden. This role reflects a broader theological motif of service and care that characterizes God's commands to humanity, emphasizing leadership through service. 3. The diet of Eden. I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. Genesis 1:29. Before the fall, the diet in Eden was purely plant-based. This detail underscores the non-violent nature of existence in the garden, where even the act of nourishment did not involve harm to any living creature. This alimentary practice points to a kind of existence that prioritizes life and health, both for humans and animals, which would have also fed on the plants. The provision of food directly from plants that can regenerate implies a sustainable cycle of life, where taking does not diminish the source, reflecting a perfect ecological balance. This diet can be seen as symbolizing a broader principle of respect and care for life, a principle that would later be deeply challenged by the fall and the introduction of death and predation into the world. 4. Peace among all creatures. The wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat, the calf, and the lion, and the yearling together, and a little child will lead them. Isaiah 11:6. While this prophecy from Isaiah describes the peace of the Messianic age, it echoes the peace that would have existed in Eden before the fall. In Eden, the natural order was such that predators and prey lived together without fear or violence. This vision of peace among all creatures highlights a divine intent for a creation where fear and aggression are unnecessary. This peaceful coexistence extended to the relationship between humans and animals, marked by mutual respect and absence of fear. Humans would have interacted with all creatures without the dynamics of predation or fear, which implies a profound level of trust and harmony that is hard to imagine in the post-fall world. This aspect of Eden challenges contemporary views on the natural world and invites a reconsideration of the possibilities of peace and harmony in creation. 5. Environmental stewardship as divine mandate. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Genesis 1:28. The mandate to subdue and rule is often misunderstood as a license for exploitative dominion. However, in the context of Eden, where harmony prevailed, this mandate was about stewardship and responsible management. Humans were called to cultivate the earth and oversee its inhabitants, ensuring the health and balance of all creation. This stewardship was a reflection of God's own care and creativity. Humans created in God's image were to reflect His character in their interactions with the environment. This directive implies a deep level of responsibility and privilege, calling humans to act as agents of God's providence and care. 6. Communion and communication with creation. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, "Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die." Genesis 2:16, 17. In Eden, communication between God, humans, and creation was direct and unimpeded by sin or misunderstanding. This communion highlights a world where divine instruction was clear and adhered to, providing humans not only with guidelines for living, but also integrating them into the broader purposes of God's plan. The presence of direct communication with God reflects a spiritual openness and purity that was foundational to life in Eden. This form of communication also suggests that humans had a role in conveying God's will to the rest of creation, acting as stewards and priests who bless and keep the created order in accordance with divine will. This role was profoundly disrupted by the fall, which introduced barriers of sin that distorted communication and corrupted the pure relationship once enjoyed. 7. The psychological state of pre-fall humanity. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Genesis 2:25. Before the fall, Adam and Eve experienced no shame, reflecting a psychological state of innocence and purity. This absence of shame signifies a complete acceptance of self and each other, without the distortions of guilt or self-consciousness that sin would later introduce. It represents a state of mental health characterized by peace, self-acceptance, and a clear conscience. This psychological wholeness extended to their relationship with the environment and animals, where there was no fear or exploitation. Humans understood their place within creation as caretakers and participants in a divine harmony, a stark contrast to the alienation and exploitation often seen in human interactions with the environment post-fall. 8. Eden as a model for eschatological hope. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. Revelation 21:1. The life in Eden serves not only as a historical account of origins, but also as a model for the eschatological hope of a restored creation. The prophecies of a new heaven and a new earth, where righteousness dwells, reflect a return to Edenic conditions, where harmony, peace, and divine presence fill the earth. This eschatological vision encourages believers to view their current environmental and animal stewardship in light of God's ultimate restoration plan. It provides a framework for understanding the temporary nature of the current fallen state and the role of humans in anticipating and working towards a restored creation that mirrors the peace and harmony of Eden. 9. The fall and its impact on creation. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. Genesis 3:17. the fall of humanity had immediate and catastrophic effects on the relationship between humans, animals, and the environment. The curse pronounced on the ground introduced thorns and thistles, signifying that the earth itself would resist human efforts, reflecting the broken relationship between humanity and the natural world. This change also introduced predation and fear among animals, altering the peaceful coexistence that had characterized Eden. The spiritual and physical disarray introduced by sin illustrates the profound interconnectedness of all creation with humanity's moral state, underscoring the holistic nature of redemption that must address not only human relationships, but the entire created order. 10. Lessons from Eden for contemporary Christian practice. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." Genesis 1:26. Eden provides a powerful template for how Christians today might consider their role in the world. The command to rule in God's image implies a governance that is characterized by grace, care, and a commitment to the flourishing of all life. This mandate invites a re-evaluation of current practices regarding environmental stewardship, animal care, and our engagement with the natural world. Understanding the symbiotic relationships of Eden can inspire a more sustainable and compassionate approach to modern issues, such as environmental degradation, animal welfare, and ecological conservation. Christians are called not only to anticipate the future restoration of creation, but to live now in ways that reflect the harmony, stewardship, and respect for life that were hallmarks of life before the fall. The exploration of life before the fall in the Garden of Eden offers profound insights into God's original intentions for humanity and all creation. It provides a vision of harmony that, though marred by sin, offers hope and direction for how life can still be lived today. For Christians, Eden is not just a lost paradise, but a guiding principle for restoration and a beacon of hope for the future reconciliation of all things under Christ. By striving to emulate the stewardship and harmony of Eden, believers actively participate in God's redemptive plan for the world, anticipating the day when Eden's peace will once again be realized in the new creation.